Hello everyone, this is Adan from Academy and today this video is about handling missing data when you have numerical values. And this is the first episode that deals with the overview of the techniques. So let's get started. The very first thing that whenever we are dealing with the techniques for the numerical data or for the categorical data in general, there are two kind of techniques. The one is dealing with the single imputation and the second is in the multiple imputation. So both techniques are useful and you must have to use both of the techniques to find out which is actually working for you. Again, there is not a single technique that is highly recommendable, but it really depends on the multiple factors. Alright, so let's start with the single imputation method. Here in the single imputation method, there are more or less four main techniques whenever we are using the single imputation method. Again, this video is not an exhaustive or the complete approach of dealing with the techniques because there are tons of techniques that we can use in the numerical data or in the categorical data. But the techniques that we are going to get an overview in this video is famous and mostly used techniques. So that is why this video is important for you if you're dealing with the missing values and using numerical data. So all of the approaches are the most frequently used techniques in more or less every field, in research, in industry. So moving back to the single imputation method, there are more or less four techniques that we actually use. The first two are actually average imputation, like mean imputation and median imputation. And these are the two most simplest approaches we can use in order to fill the missing values when you are dealing with the numerical data. And the last two approaches, the cold take imputation, the hot take imputation, are also famous single imputation techniques. And we will discuss cold take and hot take imputation in the upcoming videos with the Python implementation as well. And we'll see what are the advantages and disadvantages and when to use both of the techniques. Because we have discussed mean imputation and median imputation in our previous videos. So the link will be in the description as well as in the above cards. So make sure to check those videos as well to get the complete overview and complete picture of all of the techniques whenever you are dealing with missing data. Alright, so these are the four techniques that are in the single imputation method. So when we talk about the multiple imputation method, broadly it is divided into three main categories, like nearest neighbor approaches, multiple imputation method, and regression approaches in the multiple imputation method, and the advanced approaches in the multiple imputation method. If we discuss about the multiple imputation method and the nearest neighbor, there are three main approaches, like k nearest neighbor, and this is the approach that we have discussed in our previous video, and this is one of the most famous technique, KNN, among the research. It has high precision and accuracy as well. The second and the third approach is decision tree and random forest in the nearest neighbor, and there is also a debate on how decision tree and random forest could fall in the nearest neighbor approach. But definitely we will see in the next videos that how decision tree and random forest are in the nearest neighbor approach, as well as what are the pros and cons and when we have to use these techniques. The second one is the regression approach, and this is the most rich approach in the multiple imputation method because there are plenty of approaches that fall into the regression approaches. And broadly we'll say that there are two main types, that Bayesian linear regression approaches as well as non-Bayesian linear regression approaches. And we'll dig deep into these two approaches as well in the coming videos. Then come to the advanced approaches. Here comes the predictive mean matching and the matrix factorization. And you guys must have known matrix factorization because it is very famous when you are dealing with the recommendation system. Again, if you are using any of the techniques or if you're using any new technique that is working really best for you, so make sure to write down in the comment section so we can all learn from each other. For mean imputation, median imputation, KNN and other approaches, we have a whole playlist of dealing with missing data. And here in the part 3, we have discussed about the mean and median imputation. And in the part 5, we have discussed about the KNN and the mice imputation method. So don't forget to check these videos as well. And we'll meet in the next video with the explanation and hands-on approach of the techniques that we have discussed today. So make learning easy with the Academy.